You ever look at a complex operational workflow and it just looks like a giant tangled mess? Yeah, it's a huge headache, whether you're in supply chain management or engineering. Well, today we're diving into Turiya AI. It's a platform that promises to take all that operational chaos and turn it into a slick, intelligent system. Let's see how they pull it off. So, the big idea here is something called multi-agentic AI. Now, don't think of this as just one massive do-it-all AI. Instead, imagine you're building a specialized digital team. Turiya AI lets you assemble different AI agents that actually work together, collaborating to solve really tough problems and fine-tune your entire operation. Okay, so how do you actually build this AI dream team? Well, it all kicks off in the first of two main areas, the orchestrator. And forget about coding here. The best way to think about this is like an architect's canvas. It's the visual space where you design the entire blueprint for your automated workflow. And here it is. This is what that canvas actually looks like. The first thing you'll notice is there's no code. This is a visual map of your process. See, each one of those boxes is an AI agent, and the lines connecting them, that's how they collaborate. You're defining what data they share and the order they act in. You are literally drawing the logic for your entire workflow. This brings up a pretty important question, right? What exactly are these building blocks? What are the pieces you're dragging and dropping onto this canvas to create these incredibly powerful systems? First up, you've got the agents. Think of these as your roster of digital specialists. An agent is the worker, the one doing the job, and the platform gives you this whole library of them ready to go. You can grab a CAD quality inspector, or an assistant agent, or even a human in the loop for those steps where you want a person to sign off. You're just picking the right expert for each part of the process. Of course, every expert needs a brain, right? That's where the models come in. This is where you pick the AI engine, the large language model, that's going to power your agent's thinking. You can choose from really powerful options like Gemini 2.5 Pro to make sure you have the right amount of horsepower for the task at hand. And this is where things get really interesting. What if you need your agent to do something totally unique to your business? Well, you give it custom skills. These are like special tools you build for your agents. That little convert_SCAD_SDL skill you see there, that's a custom function that lets an agent do one very specific thing perfectly. This gives you just a massive amount of control. So you've picked your team of workers, you've given them their brains, and you've equipped them with custom tools. Once your blueprint is all laid out on the canvas, there's only one thing left to do: hit deploy. And with just one click, your whole visual design becomes a live, operational system ready to go to work. And that brings us to a really important distinction. Everything we just saw, the designing and deploying, that all happens in the orchestrator. But where do you actually use it? Run the workflow and get your results back? That happens in the second key area, the interactor. This is where you go from building the machine to actually using it. Welcome to the interactor. So if the orchestrator was the architect's canvas, think of this as the operator's console. This is the front end, the interface where you interact with your live workflows and actually see them deliver real-world results. And using it is super straightforward. You just pick the workflow you want to run from a drop-down. In this case, it's the new_hybrid_ing_drawing to CAD workflow. Then you give it your input. Here, the user is prompting the system to take a look at an engineering drawing and then create a 3D model from it. And boom, here's the payoff. Your multi-agent workflow does its thing in the background, and the interactor gives you the final result. And look, it's not just a bunch of text. It's a fully rendered 3D model, and you even get downloadable STL and step files. This is that whole journey we've been talking about, from a visual blueprint all the way to a concrete, useful result. So there you have it. We went from a visual design on a canvas to a finished 3D model, all handled by a team of collaborating AI agents. Now just take a second and imagine applying that kind of power to your most complex operational challenges. If you're ready to see exactly how this could transform your own operations, the next step is to check out a full demo. You can get in touch by emailing biz@turiyaai.com or just head over to their website at www.turiyaai.com to see how you can bring your own workflows to life.